Hey friend, Henry Flowers here with Protecting Black Life. Just got a phone call today and let me know that my grandmother, Marjorie Guster, has passed and gone on to the other side. I think about grandma and I see somebody who was in her 90s and struggling with Alzheimer's and dementia and is now not struggling. But what she also reminds me of is why we live and why I'm here in Cincinnati, being a part of Life Issues Institute and heading up the cause for protecting black life and being a stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. Grandma and her life reminds me of that mission, and I want to do the same for you today. The reason we weep, and I certainly have done some weeping today, but the reason we weep when someone that we love passes is because we know the value of life. We know that life is precious, and many of us let our own comfort and our own convenience cause us to do things that destroy and kill lives on a regular basis, and that's why we're in this fight together. But I want to encourage you, those of you who are in other nonprofits as well, who are taking a stand for life, I want you to encourage yourselves why you fight the good fight, because you know the importance of life. When I think about grandmother, grandma was somebody who stood for justice. She spoke proper English, and she said, son, I demand that you speak proper English. You will learn how to articulate and communicate and express yourself to people. And she stood for provision, hard work. I remember my mom, was really struggled raising 3 kids on her own, but on the weekends, man, we'd go to grandma's house and there'd always be food and provision, and we'd go and pick food in the garden, and man, we'd pick strawberries and we'd pick 4 and eat 2, and we'd be sick when we got done, but it was great going to grandma's house because you knew you had peace and there was provision, and that's what grandma stood for. Other people, she lived her life to be there and provide for others. It wasn't just about her. She was able to and willing to take on the burdens of other people. And that's what we've been called to do, friends. We've been called to be a stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. And don't you ever forget it. And as you continue to press through the 60, 70 hours a week, making the phone calls, finding the donors, raising the funds, this event, that event, all of the obstacles and opposition, listen, don't you ever forget why we are in this fight. We are in this fight to be a stand for those who cannot stand for themselves, to be the voice of the voiceless. And we will never give up, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, whether you live to be 90 or 19, when it's all said and done, what's most important about your life is how people say you lived your life. And for Marjorie Guster, I say, Grandma, life well lived.